You are all welcome, and those that could be visiting, I can see two gentlemen at the rear there. We really welcome you to today's service at Hillside Church of Christ. Like what was mentioned by Mr. Ben already, if there could be anything that you want to find out more about the goings on here today, please feel free to ask, and we will be very glad to explain and justify everything that we do from the scriptures. Our reading was taken this morning from the book of Isaiah, and it was read from chapter 1, the first 8 verses. We are not going to be reading as yet, but we shall actually go there because that's where we are actually going to be learning from. But before I can proceed, let me make this point clear. If there are any of you that love to look at their clock, I'm only starting at 10 past. So if half past strikes, please, we are behind our schedule. It's not me who brought it behind. Then the second point that I want to make is a sort of a disclaimer. There's an English which says, don't shoot the messenger. So if there is anything that I might say which is going to not going to sit down well with you, as long as I'm saying it from the context of the scriptures and we are quoting the scriptures together, please don't shoot the messenger. I'm just trying to be a messenger. Okay, and I hope I'm not going to say anything that is not going to sit down well with you. Before we can go to our reading for this morning, let us put some background to this, because if we understand the background of any reading, that actually helps us understand the context of the reading itself. So let us start by trying to understand the man Isaiah himself. Who was Isaiah? He was a prophet, definitely. We know that he was a prophet. He was one of the prophets that one of the 5 prophets that we call major prophets. You remember, our Bible, the Old Testament, contains 17 books of prophecy, and 12 of them we always call the minor prophets, and 5 of them they are actually called major prophets. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, and Daniel are the ones that we always call the major prophets. And of course, starting from Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Haggai, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Nahum, Micah, Zechariah, Malachi, all those other 12 are actually called minor prophets. They are not called major because they actually prophesied major prophecies, while these ones prophesied minor prophets. They are called major prophets simply because their books are voluminous. Their books are bigger than the other ones who are called minor. Their prophecies are basically the same. They were all talking about the word of God. So they are not major because they are prophesying anything major, or they are minor because they prophesy anything minor. They are major and minor simply because of the sizes of their books. So Isaiah is one of the major prophets. His name, Isaiah, actually means salvation of the Lord, or the Lord is salvation. That's the meaning of the name Isaiah. He obviously was a Jew, as we are going to discover a little bit later. His ministry actually ran through 4 kings. Kings of Judah. You remember the kingdom had been divided into 2. Samaria is up here, and Israel is actually residing to the north. Judah actually lives down to the south. He actually lives in Jerusalem, and he was prophesying to Judah. Together with his contemporary, who actually is called Micah. While Hosea, one of the minor prophets, was actually prophesying right at the same time, but he actually was prophesying to those that basically were in Samaria, who was actually the northern kingdom of Judah, which was called Israel. So his ministry was probably about 50 years long, stretching all the way through the 4 kings. Hosea is the first king, whose name is also called Azariah. I think some translations would actually call him Azariah. So he was actually the first king. Yes, Isaiah came to start his ministry while Hosea or Azariah was in charge. Then Azariah actually died, and his son called Jotham took over. Then when Jotham died, his son, that's Jotham's son, also took over, who was called Ahaz. And after Ahaz died, his son called Hezekiah took over. We remember Hezekiah as one of the very good kings whose life was actually extended by 50 years by God. Hosea and Jotham were relatively good kings themselves as well. although they did not bring down what we call high places where people would actually go and worship idols, but they were generally good kings together with Hezekiah. Ahaz was one of the worst kings. He even became so worse to the extent of killing and sacrificing his own son to offer him as a sacrifice. He was quite wicked. That was Ahaz. So he was actually married, that is Isaiah, according to chapter 7. It actually tells us, chapter 7 and chapter 8, they actually tell us about two names of his sons. One is mentioned in chapter 7 of verse 3, chapter 7 verse 3, the other one is mentioned in chapter 8 verse 3. So he was someone who was actually married. That's Isaiah. So the book itself is divided. We can actually say we have two things that we actually get from the book of Isaiah. The first thing that we actually get from the book of Isaiah is that, in fact, he's actually called a messianic prophet. Why is he called a messianic prophet? He's called a messianic prophet because he is the first prophet to talk about the coming Messiah. In fact, he dwelt much on the coming Messiah than he did on any other message. So the first thing about the book of Isaiah is he actually was talking about the coming Messiah. Then, that's the first theme. We can actually use that as the first theme of the book of Isaiah. The second theme, obviously, he was actually talking about God, who was God. He actually calls him the Holy One of Israel. This theme, of course, is a perpetuation of what Moses had already studied in the book of Leviticus. I think if we go back to the book of Leviticus, in chapter 11 in particular, at least twice, I think in verse 13 and 14, somewhere there, he actually mentioned, that is Moses in the book of Leviticus, mentioned in the words of God when God was actually saying, "Be holy, for I am holy. Be holy, for I am holy." Isaiah is actually going to come up, and he actually is going to go on, and he is telling these people that God is holy. So he is the Holy One of Israel. People were supposed to know that he actually was the Holy One of Israel. Actually, it's in Leviticus chapter 11, verse 44 to verse 45, where this idea, where this theme of holiness of God is actually mentioned. Isaiah is going to talk about it when he's actually talking to the children of Israel. Now, let's go to the text itself. May I ask you, Mr. Directly, to switch on this? I've been trying to use the signs. No one can read signs. So please, can you switch on this? Put it on 2 for me, unless if no one else wants a pen. Okay. If we go into the text itself, yeah, that's the one. I don't know if everyone else needs a pen. Put it for me, please. Thank you. Let's now go to the text itself, which is the book of Isaiah. I hope all of you are going to open there, and we are actually going to read together and try and dissect and try and understand what this prophet called Isaiah is actually talking about in this book. Verse 1 starts by telling us that this was a vision of Isaiah, who was the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, who were kings of Judah. Then in verse 2, he starts the prophets. And he starts by saying, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord has spoken. Children have I reared and brought up, but they have rebelled against me." I mean, we were looking from chapter 7 of the book of Acts this morning, and this was the message that Stephen was basically telling them about. He actually started off by telling them that their forefathers were actually taken out of Egypt. But as they were actually going along until the time of David, until the time of Solomon, when the temple was built, until the time he actually is standing in front of these people, he is saying throughout history, your fathers rejected the Holy One of Israel. And you also, Stephen was actually telling them, you are stiff-necked, you are rebellious, because you actually betrayed the one who was coming to be the righteous one. You even went ahead and you crucified him. He was talking about Jesus. Isaiah is actually talking to them. So these people, they knew their history. They knew that their forefathers had actually been taken out of Egypt. They knew all this. They kept their history. But what they also did not realize was the fact that their fathers were stiff-necked. Their fathers were rebellious. Their fathers were wicked. So while they were wicked, Isaiah is reminding them that God is actually going back, and he is saying, I reared you as my children. I actually took your forefathers out of Egypt. And that was good enough for them to worship me. But they still did not worship me, even though I had actually done that. They became rebellious. Then he goes on in verse 3. I want you to highlight verse 3 if you haven't highlighted. Because there is something that is really important that we find in verse 3 as Isaiah puts it across. Isaiah says in verse 3, this is the word of God that Isaiah is actually giving to the people of Israel. And he says to them, the ox knows its owner, and the donkey knows its master's crib. But Israel does not know. My people do not understand. If you think of an ox and you think of a donkey, you're actually thinking of a very stupid, if you want to use that word, beasts. They are just some animals. In fact, if we go back to the creation story, we actually discover that God created everything in 6 days. We actually see that He created everything in 6 short days. When He created on the last day, which was the 6th day, He actually created the ox, He also created the donkey. But after creating all that, He then created Adam, who was a man. Then He actually said in chapter 1 to Adam, be fruitful and multiply, and you have dominion over the fish of the sea, and you have dominion over all the beasts of the land. So in other words, God is actually pitching Adam this high, and He actually is putting everything else, including the fish of the sea, including the animals, including the ox, including the donkey. He actually picked this down. And He actually says, multiply, be fruitful, and you have dominion over these things. In chapter 2 of the book of Genesis, He actually then asked Adam to then stand like this, while every animal was actually passing by, and it was passing in front of Adam, and whatever Adam gave as the name to that animal, that became that animal's name. So Adam is picked this high. He is more important than all these animals. But when Isaiah comes around, he actually says, God is saying the donkey and the ox is actually better than you, Israel. Why is it better than you? Because you are rebellious. At least the ox knows its honor. If you have yet experience with ox, or with oxen, or with cattle, I have a little bit of experience with them. During the drought seasons, I buy some supplementary feeds for my cattle that are down there at home. So in the morning, when you actually give them some food, from supplementary, you actually let them go, and they actually look for some food somewhere. Then, during the afternoon, they actually remember that when we go back home, we are actually going to be given some supplementary food, some salt, some whatever. They actually come back on their own. So if you haven't seen them, you will actually hear them making noise. Oh, oh, while they are actually surrounding the feeding trough, then you know they are back. You actually go out and you actually give them some food. If you have experience with cattle, you understand that. They know their owner. They know where they are being fed. So they actually come back to pay homage to the owner. The donkeys do basically the same. But Israel could not do that. God is saying, so Israel, you are here where your father Adam is. Animals are here. Now they are above you. Not because they actually improved in their intellectual faculties or in their intellectual capacities. They have not increased to the extent of coming over the man. But what had actually happened is the man himself is the one who had stood this law, and he had actually come under the ox, come under the donkey, if you actually think about the donkey. That probably will help us understand what God is saying. So God is not happy. He actually says, my people, in the King James Version, he says, they don't consider that I am God. Even though the cattle, even though the donkey actually knows his honor, but I am your honor, you don't know me. That's what God was saying. Then he goes on in verse 4 and he says, sinful nation, a people that is laden with iniquity, offspring of evildoers, children who deal corruptly. They have forsaken the Lord, they have despised the Holy One of Israel. They are utterly estranged, taken off. You are cut off completely from me. You are estranged away from me. You are corruptly dealing with me. In verse 5, why will you still be struck down? Why will you continue to rebel? God was saying to them, even though I strike you down, you still don't change. So why should I continue wasting my energy striking you down? Because you really don't change. You are the worst people, you are very wicked, you are rebellious. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart is faint. From the sole of the foot, even to the head, there is no soundness in it. But bruises and sores and raw wounds, they are not pressed out or bound up or softened with oil. Your country lies desolate. Your cities are burnt with fire. In your very presence, foreigners devour your land. It is desolate as overthrown by the foreigners. This, of course, we should understand that this particular verse 7, Isaiah was not talking about something that was happening currently to these people. Because their land at that particular time, it was not desolate. Their land had not been devoured by any foreigners. In fact, he actually is prophesying about something that then was going to come into the future. This is a future event. When he actually is going to talk about Israel being taken away by Assyria, when he also was talking about Judah being taken away by Babylon. So it was actually something that was not happening at the time, but he actually is foreseeing the future, and he is actually warning. Then in verse 8, he actually says, and the daughter of Zion is left like a booth in the vineyard, like a lodge in a cucumber field, like a besieged city. This is Isaiah, who is talking to the house of Israel. What does that have to do with us? Why am I talking about the house of Israel, that Isaiah was actually cracking a whip at? That God, through Isaiah, was also cracking a whip at. Let's understand who Israel was. Then we can answer the question, why are we talking about Israel? We all remember, and I'm sure we all remember, that Israel actually came basically from their root father, who was actually called Abraham. Abraham actually who lived in Mesopotamia, as Stephen actually said, although we know that he was actually living in the air of the Chaldeans. Abraham is actually going to be told by God that he was actually going to have multitudes and multitudes of children, of descendants. But God also told him in chapter 22 of the book of Genesis, which we are going to talk about a little bit later, deeply in connection with what Paul mentioned in the book of Galatians, that every nation was actually going to be blessed through him. So Abraham is the beginning of the children of Israel. Abraham became the father of Isaac, and Isaac became the father of two men, Esau and Jacob. But Jacob, we don't know much about Esau as much as we know about Jacob. Jacob, of course, actually then became the father of the 12 patriarchs. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. We know there was Zebulun, there was Issachar. We know there was Naphtali, Dan. We know there was Gad, Asher. We also know that there was Joseph and Benjamin. These 12 men actually then became the fathers of Israel, the house of Israel, that is. Because Jacob himself's name had been changed by God to become Israel. Now, when Isaiah is talking to the children of Israel, or to the house of Israel, he is talking to the combined children of these 12 men. From Reuben right up to the last born was called Benjamin. Reuben being the first born. The last born was Benjamin. So he's actually talking to the descendants of all these guys. They actually had their children. We know that at one point or another, as we were looking at in chapter 7 of the book of Acts, they actually found themselves in Egypt. They lived in Egypt for about 400 to 430 years. God is actually going to send Moses to take them out. They are going to be taken out, wandering in the wilderness. Eventually, they are going to come and occupy this land of Canaan with 3 others who occupied this other part. These are the children of Israel. So at that particular time, Isaiah is actually living in Jerusalem with them. And he is saying to them, you are the children of Abraham through Isaac, through Jacob, and through the 12 patriarchs. You are the people that are considered to be the people of God. You are the people that God took by his hand from Egypt, and he made you through until he gave you this land for free. You never paid anything. So you are supposed to be worshipping him according to what he said. But then why are you like an ox? Why are you not like an ox which knows its owner? Why are you not like a donkey which knows its owner's scream? You are rebellious because you don't follow him. You are the children of God. So these are the Israel. Now let's try to link that with my question. Why then should we know the Israel? Why then should we know the background of Israel? Who was Israel? We have actually seen that Israel is those that were born through Abraham, and they actually occupied the land that God had said they were going to occupy. So what? Where do we come into the whole equation? This is where we come in. In Genesis chapter 22, God actually talked to Abraham. And while he was talking to Abraham, in verse 18, he actually said to him, because Abraham had just obeyed God to the extent of almost killing his son that was called Isaac. Now, he actually says to him, as a payback, so to speak, God actually came to Abraham and he said, all the nations are going to be blessed through your offspring or through your seed. Now, if we come to the New Testament, Apostle Paul, in the book of Galatians chapter 3, particularly in verse 8, he actually says Gentiles are actually justified by faith. If we were living under the Old Testament times, there would still be a distinction between Israel and the rest of us, the Gentiles. We obviously would be Gentiles. And we were living without God. We would be living without God. Because only Israel could live with God, because they are the only ones who are the children of God. Now, Paul is actually saying in Galatians chapter 3, verse 8, Gentiles that in the Old Testament times were living without God are actually justified now together with them, the Jews, by faith. In fact, Paul goes on in that verse to say the gospel was preached to Abraham. Where was the gospel preached to Abraham? He actually quotes directly from Genesis chapter 22. And you ask yourself a question, how could the gospel be preached to Abraham? Because we have always defined the gospel to mean the good news about Jesus Christ. No, now Jesus Christ did not live together with Abraham. Then how could then the gospel be preached to Abraham? That would be a subject for another day, because there are a lot of things we have to look at when we want to answer that question. But the answer is actually simple. So Paul is actually making reference to the extent that the same God who actually saved Israel then is the same God that also is saving Gentiles together with Israel. So they were the people of God, that is Israel in the Old Testament. Christians are the people of God in the New Testament. In fact, they are called the spiritual Israel. So we have a physical Israel in the Old Testament, and we now have a spiritual Israel in the New Testament. Who is the spiritual Israel? It's you, it's me, it's every person that actually wants to follow God. We are Israel. So when God is giving us instructions today, He is giving instructions to the spiritual Israel. He gave instructions in the Old Testament to the physical Israel. Now He is giving instructions to the spiritual Israel. That is His people who are actually called Christians. And we are justified by faith. But faith in who? Faith in Him. We are supposed to have faith in Him. So what is the conclusion of this matter? This is the conclusion. In the Old Testament times, God was sending his prophets, one of them being Isaiah, to come and chastise His people. Whenever they went off track, He actually sent somebody to come and remind them that they needed to come back on track. In the New Testament times, God is still doing the same. He has sent His Son. For God so loved the world, John chapter 3, verse 16 says, for God so loved the world that He gave the world His only begotten Son, that whoever believes in this Son is going to have eternal life, and he will not perish. So if we believe in Jesus Christ, who actually is going to give us faith today, then we are going to be saved by that faith. As Gentiles, as we would be Gentiles in the Old Testament, we are Christians today because Jesus actually wants and He loves us. But God is still saying, the same that He said to them then, who were His people, He could still be saying the same today. Why are you rebellious? The questions that He asked, the questions that, fundamental questions that Isaiah raised in chapter 1 that we read, He could still be raising some fundamental questions to us today. Why are you rebellious? But this is also something that He then says. If we are still there in the book of Isaiah, I want us to jump the rest of the verses, and I want us to come to verse 18 and verse 19, because this is where I want us to have our discussion from. In verse 18, in verse 18, Isaiah then said to them, he had actually told them about their wickedness. He had tried to remind them that God is saying this, God is saying you are rebellious, God is saying you are wicked. Now they know that you are wicked. Christians have also been told, probably, God has actually told us that we are wicked. We know where we are wicked. We know where we are rebelling against Him. But this is now what He says. After you have realized that you are being wicked in this manner, He then says, come now. In verse 18, come now. This is God. let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall become like wool. If you are willing and you are obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. But if you refuse and you rebel, you shall be eaten by the sword, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. So if the mouth of the Lord has spoken, no one can unspeak it. God is actually saying, I understand to the Israelites then, you are wicked, you are rebellious, but you still have time to repent of your rebellion. Come and reason with me. I don't care how dirty your sins are, but I'm going to make them as white as snow. Jesus is still saying the same to you and to me today. I don't care what your history is like. I don't care what your past is like. If you have been sinning in the past, I want you to come in verse 18, let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall become like wool. But only, this is the condition which is important, if you are willing and you are obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. Somebody may say, but what land? It was applicable to them because they are the ones who were supposed to, who have been given the land. What land have we been given? But that would be hypocritical because we are the same people again who actually come and start singing. In the land of faithless day lies a city, four square. What land are we talking about when we are singing that song? We realize that there is a land that we are supposed to go and occupy. Maybe not as physical as the land that we are standing on today, but there is a land that we are actually wishing to go to. There is eternal life that we are all wishing to inherit. So if there is an eternal life that we are wishing to inherit, God is saying, come and reason with me now. Don't live in the past. Forget about your sins. Sin no more. Starting from now, come and reason with me. So that if you are willing and you are obedient, you are actually going to inherit the kingdom of heaven. Now, there is a problem. And we have a problem. And maybe we should be asking ourselves a question. Are we stubborn? Because they were stubborn. Is there any difference between them and us as Christians today? Are we wicked? Because they were wicked. Are we rebellious? Because they were rebellious. I think the answer is yes. Yours might be no, but mine is yes. Why am I saying yes? I'm saying because we are wicked. I'm saying yes because we are rebellious. I am saying yes because we are not obedient to God. God has given very simple instructions. I love to use this one, and I'm also going to use it this morning. In Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24, Jesus, after the writer, of course being inspired by the Holy Spirit, actually says, consider how you can steer one another to love. Then in verse 25, he goes on to say, depending on the translation that you are using, some actually say forsaking the assembly, some say neglecting, some don't give up meeting together, whatever it is. But the best instruction is consider, you and me, verse 24, how you can steer one another up. Now, my question is, for me to be steering you up in love, and for you to be able to steer me in love, I think the writer then made it similar for us, while you are gathering together, so that you can be able to steer one another. The problem that we have is this. We don't see each other during the day on any other occasion except on a Sunday when we come to church. So probably that's the best time that we should steer each other in love. Because we don't create any other time to see each other outside of these services. But now the question now is, now that we see each other while we are busy, while we are running, while we are rushing on a Sunday, don't we need to create better other times than a Sunday? I think we have started Hillside Church of Christ and other churches of Christ somewhere. By starting, I don't mean they were the founders. I mean starting that congregation to say it's going to meet here. They actually came up with a plan. And they said, okay, Sunday is not good enough. Because everyone, when we come, we are busy doing something else. Let's create extra time when we can actually meet. The reason is to try and fulfill the instruction that God gave. Consider how to steer each other up in love. So let's create other times so that we can meet together. We are rebellious because we don't adhere to them. We are rebellious because we don't consider them to be important times. We are rebellious because we think, that's something else. But my question is, maybe I need to sit down while I'm asking this question. Let me be humble in front of you. And let me ask a question. For how long are we going to remain as rebellious as we are? For how long are we going to remain as wicked as we are? For how long are we going to remain disobeying what God said? I think it's a question that we need to take a while, because we cannot avoid this. Let's talk about it. That's why I gave the disclaimer at the beginning. Don't shoot the messenger. If the message is correct, let's take the message and implement it. God is saying, and this is a requirement. We cannot rewrite the scriptures. We can only implement the scriptures. God is saying, don't give up meeting together. If we give up meeting together, which God are we serving? Do we want God to then come and say, an ox is better than you, a donkey is better than you? I don't want that said of me. Because when God created a donkey, he put it under man, and man is above. So if he now comes and he says, you have become so worthless that the donkey is now above you, that's a serious accusation. What's still coming from God? Brethren, I am your brother, brethren, and sisters, please, for how long are we going to be rebellious to God? That's a question which I want to leave with you. For how long? If we would want to go and live with him in the land of endless day, like the city four square. If we want to go and live with him in that city four square, then how can we be able to do that if we remain rebellious? Let's consider our ways. Hebrews chapter 10, I will repeat that. Verse 24 says, consider the ways that you can implement, you and me, to steer each other in love. We want to be steering each other in love. We want to be shaping our future into walking through the gates of heaven. But we can only do that starting from now, because God is actually saying, come, now let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall become like wool. If you are willing and you are obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. If we are willing and we become obedient, we shall eat the fruit of the land. And what are these fruits?